Now we just covered translations. Our next transformation is going to be a reflection. So we're going to graph the image. I know this looks like a square, but I'm really denoting a rectangle. So we're going to graph the image of rectangle QRST after a reflection across the y-axis, okay? And a reflection basically flips a figure across a line to create a mirror image. When a point is reflected across the y-axis, all you're going to do basically is change the sign of its x coordinate. So we're flipping about this line here, the y-axis line of the two-dimensional coordinate plane. Okay, so again, just for reiteration, a reflection creates a mirror image. Point Q is 8 units to the left of the y-axis, okay? And remember, the negative in front of a position or a position on the x coordinate just means you're to the left of the origin. So I don't want people to get intimidated when they see negative signs. All right, so again, we see our point Q is 8 units to the left of the y-axis. Its reflection is obviously going to be 8 units to the right of the y-axis. So let's draw that right now. All right, so a reflection is basically equidistant about whatever axis you are doing your flip over. And we're doing our flip over again, the y-axis. And it's not Q because we have shifted its position. So we're going to call this Q prime to denote that it's been transformed via reflection about the y-axis. Now, in our original figure, we had point R. Point R is located 4 units to the left and 7 units down. So it's at position -4, -7. And we're going to reflect it across the y-axis. So since R is 4 units to the left of the y-axis, to flip it about the y-axis, all we have to do is shift it 4 units to the right. Because again, when you're flipping or reflecting about the y-axis, all you're doing is moving equidistantly with respect to the y-axis. And in order to do that, all you're going to do is change the x coordinate, okay? So its reflection has to be 4 units to the right of the y-axis. And this is going to be R prime because we shifted our original figure or point R through reflection on the other side of the y-axis. Now we're going to reflect point S, okay? So we're on our 3rd point of our original rectangle. We're going to reflect it about the y-axis. It's located horizontally at -4, which means we had to travel 4 units to the left of the origin. Recall, the origin is located at 0, 0. And it's shifted upward 1 unit. So it's located at x equals -4, y equals 1, okay? And to flip it about the y-axis, we're just going to shift it equidistantly with respect to the y-axis. And I'm supposed to be at 4, yeah. So we're over here at 4. And so if S is 4 units to the left of the y-axis, to reflect it, we have to move it 4 units to the right of the y-axis. And I'm just going slow. I know this might be redundant for many of you. I'm just going slow because there are some people in here who are not really familiar with navigating the coordinate plane, okay? All right, but last but not least, we're finally at point T, Okay, so point T is located 8 units to the left of the origin and 1 unit up. And so we're going to reflect it across the y-axis by shifting it equidistantly from the origin, or more appropriately, we're going to shift it equidistantly on the other side of the y-axis. So T is originally positioned 8 units to the left of the y-axis. Now we're going to shift it so that it's reflected 8 units to the right of the y-axis. Okay, so our newly positioned point T, we're going to call it T prime. All right. So this isn't pretty. It's pretty straightforward. I think we just did that. Sorry, I doubled up on you guys. All right. So our original rectangle was rectangle QRST. And we're going to see now that the reflected points form a rectangle congruent to triangle QRST. And when I say congruent, I mean it has the same dimensions. All right, so our newly formed rectangle is rectangle Q prime, R prime, S prime, T prime. Okay. Now for the fun and more complicated stuff, rotations.